Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Mid-South Wrestling Review for, I believe, the 25th of February 1984. And interesting times here in Mid-South for sure. Join us. We've got over 100 episodes already available and worth checking out. Yep, February 25th, 1984. Contract signing between former friends, actually, as they uh, Wrestling 2 and the Junkyard Dog are there. Grizzly Smith is there. They do I guess the contract signing as Wrestling 2 was once friends with the Junkyard Dog. Now feels like he's been passed over. Grizzly Smith kind of signs off. Magnum TA also. Actually, Magnum TA is the contract signee. And, Wrestling 2. I'm sorry. It is Magnum TA signing the contract, not Wrestling 2. Wrestling 2 feels that he should be the one signing the contract, and we kind of go through that. There is some bitterness there as we kind of move forward from Wrestling 2. Of course, he's been a babyface throughout, so kind of teasing the heel turn there as a guy who might, be run over by being a former champion and not being respected the way he used to be, and all of that might very well be factoring into the decision here. Just interesting that you kind of can almost see Watts didn't need to do angles every week. Watts didn't need to do angles every month. When Watts did an angle, it carried you for 6 months. And I think that's something that modern wrestling has lost, is the ability to have angles mean enough that they carry you when things kind of go, kind of get put in motion. Joseph Oldie and George Weingroff against the Midnight Express here. Midnight Express have not first interacted with the Rock and Roll Express as of yet, at least not on television. But Jim Cornette does the entrance for Loverboy Dennis and Beautiful Bobby, the Midnight Express. Midnight Express, some people would say, should have already received championship matches. That has not happened yet. And ultimately, the Midnights are never really did follow up completely on the tarring and feathering, at least on television, of Magnum TA. So that's a little weird to me too. I mean, certainly they probably get a house show run out of it for a couple of months at least. But anyway, the lack of TV follow up is kind of interesting. Eaton finds himself on the receiving end of the armbar, and then we see the Midnight Express cutting the ring off a bit. Hard shots there, and ultimately shot under the chin of Loverboy Dennis. Dennis manages to get the takedown and ultimately get some shots there. Bobby Eaton with the big body slam right in the middle, and doesn't get everything he wants on that by any stretch of the imagination, but manages to get enough there, and drops the leg across the nature of it, and we see kind of a cinch up, almost like a chicken wing, with a hammerlock in place. Meanwhile, Bobby with the back elbow manages to get things going their way. The tag off into the power slam from the second rope on the inside by Condrey gets the win for the Midnight Express, as one would expect with that particular maneuver. Nikolai Volkov against Steve Bryson. Not going to be a match to much to write home about, of course. Volkov still wearing the noose around his neck, that white rope that he has been wearing for a while. Sings the national anthem as he's been wont to do for the last little while, and certainly, kind of an interesting go there. And Volkov has been a former North American champion in the area. Volkov has been a major guy in the territories through the 70s, and so getting the run here. Punches, kicks, basic stuff, front face lock, using the brute power, brute strength, and then he manages to herc the man up, hits the back breaker after the military press style, and the back breaker. Volkov gets a quick victory there. probably less than 2 or 3 minutes actually. Then we move to a interesting thing that happens about twice a year, it seems. Richter and Landell versus Princess Victoria and Pafo, a mixed tag team match. The ladies come through a couple weeks every year, and that's what happens. Wendy Richter, relatively new. This is prior to her WWF run. Ladies square off. Richter gets on the receiving end of some arm drags, and Princess Victoria in control here. Stays on the arm of Richter for a little bit. Remember, a couple of weeks ago, Pafo and Landell have gone at it. They square off, and Pafo gets a series of arm drags of his own. Big back body drop out of the corner by Pafo. Pafo manages to, um, ultimately hit some shots there, and hard shots by Landell, and he manages to go right at things there. Hard shots by him, and a shot from underneath by Pafo. Pafo manages to tag off, and the ladies come back in. A drop kick by Wendy Richter. Richter obviously looks like she doesn't have an abundance of experience here. Kick right under the jaw onto Princess Victoria, and the gentlemen stay out, at least for the moment. Richter, apparently being aligned with Landell, must be the heel. Odd to see Wendy Richter as a heel, since she's most known as the babyface. Anyway, Richter sends Victoria into the corner and cuts the ring off on her partner. Victoria comes back with a series of shots and ultimately missed leaping second rope back elbow. Victoria 1-2. Out the back door comes Richter, and we see the kind of a flying forearm type maneuver. And ultimately, blind tag by Buddy Landell. He manages to pop Victoria with a forearm behind the referee's back. I don't know if that was allowed in '84, but anyway, we see Wendy Richter get the victory for her heel team. Then we move to Butch Reed in his next match. Butch Reed and Jim Neidhart. Again, this feud has not been completely blown off as of yet, so obviously the nature of that is there. Anyway, Reed is sent into the ropes. Neidhart with a big running clothesline. This match, I believe, joined in progress as the action already fast and going here on TV. Big back body drop out of the corner by Neidhart. Neidhart manages to kind of stalk around, doesn't waste a lot of motion. Up for the 10 punches in the corner. Goofy stuff. Which I look back at that and I remember it as a kid and cheering along with all the other kids. But you look at it now and it's like, wait a minute, you get punched in the head 10 times and you don't have a single mark on you? That's goofy. Anyway, so we see Reed manage the body slam. Of course, remember, right around the end of 80, end of 83, yeah. These guys were tag team partners, tag team champions for a good bit of '83, and they're not friends anymore. Anyway, chokeouts both over the ropes and just with bare hands by Reed on Neidhart. Reed, I guess, playing more the heel because he's more aggressive. Referee having to pull him off and not very happy with the unsportsmanlike conduct of Reed. Reed using the ropes and any other weapon he can get to get advantages here. Vertical suplex does not get a full snap on it. Reed sitting on the second rope and hits a second rope shoulder tackle, almost driving Neidhart out of the ring. Irish whip there by Reed. Reed finds the duck, and then we see a hard shot by Neidhart. Neidhart manages to get things going, and ultimately the back body drop, and again, there we go. Big attempted body slam by Neidhart, but then he turns it into the Samoan drop. 1, 2, and 3. He gets the victory, all it looks like. However, the referee does not make a full 3 count. Neidhart goes to town on Reed with punches. Reed sends Neidhart back into the ropes, shoulder tackle, and both guys actually crunch heads, it appears. Reed uses a foreign object that he pulls from his tights, gets the victory after using the foreign object, does Reed, and that is all she wrote for that deal. Anyway, we go to Tom Letts and Jerry Gray versus the Rock and Roll Express. This is the second match of the Rock and Roll Express in the area, and so that goes in a positive direction for them. Of course, the Rock and Roll Express is probably one of the most decorated tag teams over the next, well, let's see, probably about 6-7 years, something like that, across many territories. And Gibson and Morton are extremely influential in Mid-South for the year 1984. And Morton starts with Gray, manages to hold the arm. Letts comes in, uses a little power, but roll up attempted by Ricky Morton. Morton out of the way of a big elbow drop. Morton using quickness, of course, known for his quickness and his selling. If you need to learn how to sell, Ricky Morton, probably a guy worth watching. Probably one of the top 3 guys in the history of the business worth watching. Anyway, tag off to Robert Gibson. Gibson comes back in on the arm of Getz. And then Gray comes back in as the leader for his team once again. He gets punched back pretty quickly and aggressively there. Anyway, hard shot by to the midsection by Morton, and then the double drop kick finish for the Rock and Roll Express. Then we go to Crusher Darso and Mike Jackson as the, I guess, final match of the deal here. Darso and Jackson going at it. Jackson aggressive in the beginning, gets caught and turned into a release slam. So Jackson goes for the second rope crossbody, gets caught, and then gets slammed. Then gets herked up for the kind of stun gun across the top rope. Big body slam by Darsaw. Darsaw really managing to do everything he possibly can to get things going under his direction. Snapmare takeover, and the baby faces make their way to the ring and run Darsaw out of ground, and they baby faces Rock and Roll Express holding Darsaw down and beating him up pretty aggressively there, kind of shaving his head and kind of, or actually spray painting him. I'm sorry, spray painting him kind of as being a traitor to his country. Nikolai Volkov comes in, but comes in too late, and a streak down the midsection of purple or pinkish streak there. Needless to say, there's a music video that closes us, and then we go into March of 1984. Lots of crazy times in the Mid-South area, and we'll be covering them all. Stay right here on the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel.